Well, my father was a bibliophile, and he didn't want to lose his books. So he put his books in storage. His collection was the most valuable thing. And the car was relatively new, and he didn't want to abandon that. We would have had to abandon everything. We were living in a rented house, but the furniture was bought, and the car was bought, the appliances were all bought. And my father wanted to get some value out of the car. He got $5, but everything else had to be abandoned. And the vultures were out there on the street waiting for us to be taken away so that they can come and loot our homes. There were some families where they were so angry when they saw the looters, the vultures out there, that they took their furniture to the backyard and burnt them rather than leaving them. My father, however, did not want to lose his books, so that was put in storage. And throughout the years of our internment, he kept up the payment on the books. When he came back to claim them, they were non-existent, and they claimed they were accepting the checks, but they claimed not to know anything about it, and my father had no recourse. So they lost everything. We got to get a view of the area. They were all black tar paper barracks. Um, the mess hall was in the center, and the barracks were lined up beside the mess hall. And beyond the mess hall, beyond the barracks was a barbed wire fence, and beyond that was a dense, lush, swampy woods, and there were sounds coming from the woods. It was very exotic, cawing sounds and screeching sounds, and I remember my father telling us about jungles and some of the creatures that lived in the jungles. But there was a kid there who told us that there were dinosaurs living out there in the swamps, and that those were dinosaur sounds. And so that's when I first found out about these prehistoric beasts living out there. But and they sounded scary. But the kid told me that we didn't have to worry because the barbed wire fence would keep them out. We were safe. I woke up and saw my parents hovered over a kerosene lamp at the other end of our room, and they were talking in whispers. And usually they were asleep by this time. And my father's voice was very serious and urgent. And my mother was sitting straight upright. And I knew something was happening that made her spine straighten up. And in the light from the kerosene lamp, I saw two shiny streams down her cheek. But she wasn't looking like she was crying. She was sitting very erect. And then she spoke, and when she spoke, there was determination in her voice, but when she breathed in, it was a sniffle. But what I deduced from that later is that that was when they were talking about the loyalty questionnaire. Question 27 asked, will you bear arms to defend the United States of America? This being asked of people who were stripped of their freedom and all their basic rights and incarcerated behind these barbed wire fences. 28, I'm paraphrasing, but this is the essence of it, and it was just one sentence. It asked, will you swear your loyalty to the United States of America and forswear your loyalty to the Emperor of Japan. The really offensive word in that question is the word forswear, because it assumes that there's an existing loyalty to the emperor. And particularly for an American citizen, someone who has never been to Japan, for the government to assume that you have an inborn, innate loyalty to the emperor just because of your Japanese ethnicity, was truly offensive. They were considered disloyal to the United States, and we had to leave Rohwer, Arkansas, and be transferred to what they call a high security segregation center for disloyals. And that was a camp called Tule Lake in Northern California.